What's going on, everybody? It's your boy AJ, and yo, I have an amazing guest here, Ken from Mid Level Media, aka Mid Level Movie Reviews. Yo, we're
A
gonna have
lot
an
of
awesome
different
night.
names.
Yeah, a lot of different names, and yeah, we're gonna have an awesome night. We're just gonna talk movie talk and kind of movie news and things like that. If you guys have anything, in the chat that we didn't bring up, or you catching it on the replay, let us know down in the comments, down in the live chat. So yeah, Ken, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
I,
Thank you
I
for
know we
having me
talked
on.
we talked before. It's
You're,
always awkward when,
yeah,
when we start the live because we've already talked a little bit before the live, but to let the people
yeah.
know how you doing today.
I'm doing fantastic. It's what day is it? Wednesday?
It's Wednesday, man.
Wednesday, January the 20th. Yeah, it's
Halfway
a good
through the
day.
week.
It's a good day. Yeah, and I work on the weekend, so this is like my
Oh,
weekend. So
oh, okay,
I
okay,
got one more day off, and then I go back to work on Friday. So
okay.
I
Gotcha.
I treasure my weekdays like some people don't.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Tony Movie Chappie. That's a long name, but he said, "Hey
Yeah.
guys," or she. Is it? Do you know?
No,
What
I
you
know
should
Tony.
refer?
It's
Oh,
it's a
okay.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay, Tony. I
Tony
just got
Movie
confused by the
Chappie,
profile.
D9, Neil Blomkamp, #1 fan.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
kind of been talking a little bit in the DMs, so thank you for
yeah.
joining. I
Tony's
appreciate
a
that.
good guy. He's an aspiring film critic on the Instagram and YouTube. So
Nice, nice. Uh, Sam Junior, Sam
Sam
Junior Junior.
Jr.
Yeah, Sam Junior Junior. Hey Ken, AJ Reacts too. What's up?
Yeah,
How we
Sam's
been
always
doing?
around as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We've been doing pretty good. We're doing good, and we're gonna get into this movie news. And yeah, stopping by to
Oh
say hi.
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it, sir. What we getting
Yeah,
into?
we're gonna get into the first thing. Netflix. The first thing we get, like, is some movie news for this year. Netflix is dropping one film every week, by some big names, A-listers. We got Gal Gadot, we got The Rock, and we got Regina King and Melissa McCarthy and
Do you
all
think
that.
that movie's gonna be good? Do you think the movie with Gal
I
Gadot,
don't even.
The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds is gonna be good? Because
What's the
usually when you
title?
have that much star power in a movie,
Yeah, what's the title
it
of that
always
movie?
ends up disappointing.
I
I
can't.
forget. I
I
forget
think it's
actually.
like something red, like the red one or something like that. But
Is that
yeah,
it?
I don't know if that's gonna be any good. I feel like it's just gonna be kind of like one of those fun action films. I don't think it's gonna be like anything
Well,
Oscar worthy.
the last time Ryan Reynolds did a Netflix movie was what? That Six Underground? That wasn't very
Yeah,
well received. I didn't even watch the
I
movie.
didn't,
Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
I didn't watch it. But
Well, the
yeah,
problem is when you come out at the end of the year, like I'm catching up on all like the Oscar contender films. I don't have time to watch a movie like Six Underground. I think that came out like right at the tail end of 2019.
hmm yeah, man. So Netflix, they're doing their thing, and they're part of this streaming wars, man, and that's like the future of film and TV, bro. It really is, and
Yeah.
you kind of really got to get in there with the best of them with that.
Yeah,
Speaking of Netflix, yeah,
that's kind of where we're at now with all the streaming services and stuff, and theaters are all but. I mean, I know some theaters are still open, but they're all but kind of shut down, and nobody's
yeah,
really
didn't
releasing it. It's been quiet. It feels like it's dead to me because I haven't been in like literally 6 months. So,
yeah
yeah, that's the way of the future.
didn't one of your theaters close that was close to you? They sent you an
Yeah,
email.
I mean, it's right down the street from me. It's been open since I lived out here. It's been open for 10 years. The smaller theater, it's not one of the chain theaters.
Yeah,
They closed down like a month or two ago, and
yikes.
it's very sad when I think about
Listen,
it because it's like I've grown up out here. No, I didn't grow up out here, but my kids have grown up out here, and
hmm
I just have several fond memories taking them to see Pixar films there. Me and my family going to see Marvel movies and stuff like that. I saw a lot of movies there, so
yeah, that
yeah, it is kind of sad. So,
yeah,
and
that.
they had like it was a family owned kind of theater business. They had two
Oh,
locations. They decided to keep their other one open, or at least they're trying to,
hmm
but they had to shut that one down. So,
yeah. I wonder.
it,
I wonder what they're gonna do now. You said they have another location.
yeah, they got one that's in another town. It's like on the other side of the state, not on the all the way on the other side, but it's probably like 45 minutes away or something. So,
Yeah.
It's in a spot that I'm probably not going to travel out to because I'll just go to the other, like the bigger, like the chain theaters are closer to me than that other one is. So
Yeah, like
I'll,
the AMC's and the Regals and things like that.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, but
Gotcha.
that's the one thing I kind of take exception to when everybody's like acting like it's no big deal and we can keep the theaters closed for as long as we want and they'll just come back. It's like no, they won't. Not in every case. 'Cause that one's gone and it's gone forever. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah,
That's
it's
it's
just a shitty situation that
it's
there ain't really a
it's
whole lot you can do
unfortunate.
about it.
It is. It
Yeah.
really is unfortunate. And it a lot of things have been unfortunate with, and not just the movie theaters have been hit by what we've got going on here. But yeah. So speaking of Netflix, we got Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. It's a rumor that they are going to join the MCU. Did you watch the
Okay.
Marvel Netflix shows at all?
So I watched Daredevil the first two
Oh,
seasons. I love the first two seasons of Daredevil. Thought it was
okay,
good. I
okay.
started to watch Jessica Jones and I couldn't really get into it. And then I never watched Luke Cage because I felt like I had to watch Jessica Jones to watch Luke Cage, and it was just one of those things where I felt like I had to watch everything. So I just
Yeah.
never got around to any of those other shows. I watched like the first two episodes of The Punisher too.
Oh,
I
the
thought
first
that
two
was good, but
episodes or the
I
first
never
season?
really got. No, just like the first. I might have got farther than two. I might have got like 4 or 5, and then I quit
Hmm.
watching that. So the only
Honestly,
one that really hooked me was Daredevil, and I didn't watch the third
mm,
season of that either.
the third season was pretty good of Daredevil. If you ever have a chance to check it out,
I heard it's the best.
I would recommend. I don't know if I would say it's the best.
Yeah,
It does kind of well round his character arc. So
yeah.
I think yeah, you should check it out. But
Well, Vincent
other
D'Onofrio comes back in that season,
yeah,
right? Does
yeah,
he come back? Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, he was the best part of the first one, easily. The first season.
And he's every bit of Kingpin that you wanted in the first season.
Yeah,
So I think if you get a chance to check out season 3 of Daredevil, I
yeah,
definitely would
definitely.
if I were you.
Well,
But
there's no
Jessica,
chance that they're going to take that off of there, right? It is
oh no, no,
Netflix. You
no,
think
no,
they'll?
they won't take
Okay,
off. Yeah, those shows
so I
that
got time. I got
if
time.
they
I'll check
do
it out
bring
sometime.
back the show, it might be the new episodes might be on Disney Plus, but
Yeah,
I don't think that they're gonna bring back the show. The shows they might just have these characters feature in different shows on Disney Plus. Like I think they were talking about Jessica Jones featuring in She-Hulk, and
yeah,
maybe Luke Cage featuring in Moon Knight. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, it
These are
makes
just kind of
sense.
rumors and speculation right now, though.
It makes sense. They're established characters that people know, so I think a lot of people would be excited to see them pop up in other Marvel projects. So, especially
Yeah,
like I think what was Charlie Cox is he confirmed to be in Spider Man
I
coming up?
think they. I'd seen some things online where they said that he wrapped shooting there and he was seen on set multiple times and things like that. I think it's pretty confirmed. I don't think Disney confirmed anything, but that's kind of how I like it. I like, kind of not knowing for sure what I'm gonna see and
Yeah.
go in there and be surprised.
Yep.
Go into the film being surprised. Now we have so much, movie news, and I'm doing it too
Yeah. It
right
just
now. But but like
it takes so much of the. It's like we didn't have this when I was a kid. It was like you went
yeah,
into a movie and you were surprised. And now
exactly.
it's like, and especially now, it's so much worse, it feels like, because
Hmm.
there's nothing else to talk about. There's
Hmm.
no like big blockbuster movies coming out to talk about and
Right,
kind of
right.
preoccupy us and take our mind off like what's coming up next. All we have to do is just speculate on what's coming. And it feels
Yeah.
like we just keep rotating around the same like 5 or 6 movies over and over again. Like for
Well,
the past, I've
they changed
literally been
that.
talking about the Snyder Cut since last April.
Yeah,
So
Snyder,
it's,
man, that Snyder cut, man, it'll be
yeah.
over. It'll be all over soon when it releases in March. But
Yeah, thank
yeah,
God.
like you said, so you're not excited for the Snyder cut.
No, look, I'll watch it
Hmm.
because I feel like I have to, but I didn't like the Justice League movie, and I know it's supposed to be different, but I really don't have any faith in Zack Snyder as a director to. It's not like I don't like some of his movies, but I don't really have any faith in him to fix what was wrong with that movie for me.
I feel
It's
that.
not like
it's not something that like I'm totally excited for and hyped for, but it's something to watch for sure. And then
Yeah.
I kind of got a little bit let down when I heard that it wasn't going to be a 4-part series. They took that away. They said, "We're okay. This is not going to be a 4-part series anymore, and it's going to be just a film, a 4-hour film." And I'm just
that
like,
to me is a sign that they've lost faith in what's coming out, because I think that their initial plans were to hype it week to week to week.
yeah,
It's supposed to one part come out and then the next part come out, or at least maybe like over 2 weeks or something. And
yeah,
now it's just
exactly.
like maybe they're not happy with it. Maybe they don't want it to kind of fester and to have
Yeah,
people talk about it for so long, and they're just going to dump it. They're just going
yeah.
to release it all and
That's what it
say,
seems like.
"Take this shit and deal with it."
That's a perfect that's a perfect word for it. Dump it like
Yeah,
on us. And that's how I feel, with these type of long movies. And I personally I really enjoy seeing like mini series of different things. And sometimes I
yeah,
feel like really long movies should be adaptation, like should be a mini series adaptation for it.
yeah.
But
I agree. I think it would have worked for what I thought they were going for with this, but if they just want to make it kind of like a Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut or something, whatever.
yeah,
It'll probably be better than Justice League 2017, but that's really not a high bar
that's not saying much.
to
That's not saying
exceed.
much
So
at
I'm not
all.
like, yeah, I'm not like super excited for it. I'll watch it, maybe. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'll probably watch it.
I mean, you have
We'll see.
HBO Max, so it's
I have
not any.
HBO Max. I watched Wonder Woman 1984, so I guess I'll watch this. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving
But the
on.
difference being, I was actually excited for that one, and
Yeah, yeah.
it let me down.
It did. It let me down so much, but
Maybe
we won't
Justice
even
League will
get
do
into
the
that
opposite.
because I know both of us have talked about it so much. So
Yeah,
we'll move on from that.
yeah.
Oh, I got my things out of order. Okay, so Army Hammer. Have you heard anything about regarding this gentleman here?
Yeah, this was like the only one I think that I'd previously heard about.
Did you?
No, there's a couple other ones, but
So let's. I'm
this
going
is
to ask you.
weird.
Yeah,
How are
is.
we going to approach this here? We
Yeah,
going
I just
we
kind of want
going
to.
like right
Well,
into the Hannibal Lecter comparisons.
so I
We're
just
gonna
wanted to ask you, like, how did you previously feel about him anyway? Like, did you care for him as an actor or anything like
not
that?
not really. He always seems like kind of fake and phony to me as an actor.
Mm, hmm.
Um, even Call Me by Your Name, which
Haven't seen
everybody
it.
loved and adored,
Hmm.
that movie, I wasn't a huge fan of. And that's like his one big movie that I think he can kind of hang his hat on as like I was an actor in that movie.
Yeah,
That and
actor.
the social network, but
Yeah,
he kind of played like a side part in that movie.
I didn't even know he was in that. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
He's the twins, which I don't know like what they did to make him a twin, but
Mm,
he's one of
okay,
the Harvard twins. But
okay. What
it
I
to me,
mostly
like
know
I'm
him,
not a big fan of him.
what I mostly
Honestly,
know him from is the Man from Uncle film.
yeah, I've never
Um,
seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty good. But now, like, I don't know how you feel about watching Army Hammer films now. If it like even really matters to you, what has been talked about with him or
Yeah,
not.
it's very strange. But it
It
is one of
is.
those things that when I heard it, I was like, if I was gonna pick one guy in Hollywood that did that kind of stuff, I would be like, yeah, that guy. It makes sense.
Yeah. Did you see the video of where he had his kid licking his toes?
No, I haven't saw that.
Yeah.
So
This
there's been some developments in this
it's been
case.
some development to his
Is anybody
what's
like
going on with him.
investigating him right now? Is he like
I
being
don't know if he's being
audited?
I don't know if he's being investigated. Maybe the
Yeah,
messages that were, the alleged messages were investigated, but I don't think anybody's really taking it seriously. But I think
yeah,
he is kind of getting canceled by, in households and stuff like that. He stepped
yeah,
down from the Shotgun Wedding film that he was
yeah.
filming. And I heard
Well,
that he was being replaced. That they were talking about replacing him with Josh Duhamel.
yeah. So that just
You think that'll make it the film?
One boring actor for another.
I was gonna ask, like, do you think that would make the film better or what?
The only film I thought Josh Duhamel was good in, and I actually got some kind of emotion out of him, was Love, Simon. That's probably like the best he's ever been, was in that movie.
Yeah, he was good.
I haven't seen every Josh Duhamel like romantic love comedy or whatever.
Isn't Josh Duhamel in the Transformers films?
Yeah, he's in the Transformers.
Yeah, but like we don't ever really get any character depth from him ever. So
yeah, but it's not like all his fault. Those movies, you really don't get a lot of character depth out of anybody. But
that's true.
He definitely doesn't help matters.
That's true. Movies, that's true. So. You see what the chat is saying.
But yeah,
Netflix is doing it right now.
That's a super weird situation with Armie Hammer. It kind of leads into the whole like conspiracy dark web kind of stuff with like all the underground crazy stuff that actors and stuff do.
Yeah, for sure.
I won't get too far into that.
Yeah, that can be a slippery slope. But yeah. Armie Hammer, I feel like people aren't really loving him right now. He's kind of like taking a step back. That's probably the best idea for him now.
If you were ever going to cancel somebody for something, that's the one.
That's the one right there. That's the one right there. But yeah, Netflix is killing it right now. Yeah, I feel like some of the other streaming sites are kind of got their hat in the ring too. Not just Netflix. I
feel like Netflix gets by on quantity.
Yeah, I think that's something
quantity.
I think that's something that Netflix has going on for it. Yeah. Quantity over quality for sure. I actually personally haven't seen a whole lot of Netflix original films. I've dabbled in the Netflix original shows, and I do enjoy those for the most part. But like the movies, they just never really intrigue me that often. I have seen some. One of my least favorite films of all time and least favorite film of 2020 was
that's gonna come up later again.
That was my least favorite.
Yeah, I got a movie that I watched recently that I want to talk about in relationship to that one.
Okay, cool. But yeah. So I missed going to the movie theater.
The Netflix films that I love. Well, no, you can read that.
No, I was just gonna say. I was gonna read off what Tony said. I miss going to the movie theater a lot. There's just something about the movie theater experience that you just don't get for when you see the movie on streaming. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a different experience, but that's kind of the way everything's going right now. Not many people are trying to get out, go in public, just for leisure. So, unfortunately, that's kind of how it's going. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah. No, I was going to say the Netflix movies that I have watched recently and I've loved, like Pieces of a Woman and Mank. I actually really love those movies. They're probably going to be high up on my top 10 of the year. Okay. Those aren't what I would consider like Netflix movies. Like those weren't built from the ground up to be Netflix movies. They were just kind of bought last minute after they were made. So because the David Fincher film wasn't meant to go to Netflix, but usually the ones that were like built from the ground up, you're a Netflix movie. Like that Outside the Wire that just came out that a lot of people are saying isn't very good. That's
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah. Most of the stuff that Netflix does from the ground up isn't great as far as like movies.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying. Like when we were talking about the Netflix movies dropping one a week, like. I don't know how excited I am for that because
haven't they been doing that though? I mean, all of 2020 they did that same thing.
Basically,
I guess it's more impressive.
It feels
now
like
because everybody's been on lockdown and everything's been shut down. So I guess it feels more impressive that they can still do it.
But also, I feel like they're involving a lot of big name A-list celebrities to be involved now. So
true.
Yeah, I think that's the only difference because they really were popping out. Like a movie a week, basically 2 movies a month, and they just I don't know. I haven't watched a whole lot of them, but they just don't seem that intriguing to me.
They come and go, man.
Come and go.
Honestly, get a good one every now. I just wait for like the buzz to build on one of them, and then I'll check out. It's like I can't do the grind like every week. Check out the new Netflix movie.
I feel like that's a little overwhelming too. It reminds me of the Investor Day Disney Investor Day, where they just
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of announced a whole lot of stuff. And the word you used earlier was perfect. They dumped a whole lot of stuff on us, even
Half the
though
stuff
it
probably won't even come out.
honest, like
But
not they won't come out, or they're like they'll be delayed to 2023 to 2024, things like that. And it's just like,
didn't you just want to
okay,
take a nap after they announced all that stuff?
yeah, because I wanted to be excited for it, but also like at the same time, that's just a lot. Like there's
Mhm.
so much content coming out and like so many announcements after being, everything being delayed last year. Now they want to, like, okay, we're coming out with all this stuff, but now it's just a little overwhelming. So
Yeah, I
I don't know.
couldn't keep up with all the stuff. It felt like even with stuff like shutting down and getting delayed, like it still felt like we were smacked in the face with so much content and stuff last year.
Yeah, we
It
were.
just
We were.
wasn't the big budget stuff that's released in theaters, but really,
True.
there's
True.
only maybe like 20 of those a year that's like huge and everybody talks about them.
Yeah.
All the rest of it's the smaller stuff, and we still got all that. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it was only a few movies that we didn't get to check out.
Yeah, I feel like it was just a lot more highlighted since we were pretty much in lockdown and quarantine. Nobody was really going to theaters. The movies got delayed and stuff like that. So the streaming services were definitely on their strong game for
And then you'd be
sure.
like, "Oh, I thought that movie got delayed to 2021." Like, "Oh, it's coming out in 2 weeks, home premiere." I'm like, what?
Exactly. At home VOD.
Because that's how I watched Promising Young Woman tonight. Because I had all these gift cards for Fandango that somebody
Hmm.
gave me like right before the quarantine, so I never got to spend them on going to the theater like I'm supposed to. But I realized that Fandango has their own app, and I can use
Yes.
those cards on that. So I bought the Promising. I did the rental for Promising Young Woman for $20 with the
Yeah,
gift
it's
card.
like called, what is it called? Fandango Now or something like that.
Yeah, Fandango now. Yep,
Is that worth
that's what I did.
getting? I want to ask you. Is that worth
I
getting?
mean, I don't know if it's an actual like streaming service that you can actually. I imagine it probably does have free movies on there too, but it doesn't cost anything to get, but you rent stuff off of it.
Gotcha.
Like, but it has all the same stuff that Vudu does. It's just that I
Gotcha.
had the Fandango gift card, so I went ahead and got that. I don't know if they have original content or anything like that. I haven't
Gotcha.
done a lot of digging into it.
Hmm. Next, I kind of wanted to talk about the Tom Cruise kind of fiasco.
You do it
Um,
again, you're gone.
you're gone, and you're gone, and you're gone. So we heard, everybody pretty much heard about that rant and things like that. Did you hear
Oh, yeah.
about the the purchasing of robots to enforce the rules of the virus or whatever?
Not until
Did you
you
hear
sent me
that?
that story, and then I
I
looked it up.
I feel like that's kind of a joke, maybe like a
Yeah.
something that's
What
not
kind of robots?
confirmed.
Like the robot from Rocky Four?
Probably something like this.
What is that?
It's like a robot bringing cleaning supplies.
It looks like a beak on that thing. It looks like Howard the Duck.
That's the mask that it's wearing, because
Yeah.
everybody has to wear a mask. But when I
Over
first
mask.
heard of it, when I first heard about it, it reminded me of this.
Oh yeah,
So
man. I mean, that's the first step. That's the
yeah,
first step to
for
controlling
sure.
us all. If you got robots going around, like making sure that you're social distancing, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is.
That
So
is kind of scary.
I wanted to talk about Tom Cruise as a person, and as an actor. How do you feel about Tom Cruise overall?
Um, he's a great movie star. He's not one of the best actors, I don't think. Although I did see one of his best performances with Magnolia last
Mm,
week,
okay,
which I
that's
mean
on
I
my
can talk
list to
about
watch.
later. But I like him. He's a great film star. I mean, he's been around forever. He's got longevity. He takes risks as far as like the stunts he performs on screen. I mean,
Yeah,
nobody's more passionate than Tom Cruise and more committed to the role. So I mean,
yeah,
you got to have respect for him in that aspect.
very true.
And
And
that's been since a very young age. Like he's had that drive.
true.
Like I watched the Top Gun in 4K this year, and they had all kinds of special features about talking about how he was like in his 20s pushing his way into the producers meetings to get soak in all that knowledge even back in his mid 20s. So
Yeah,
yeah, he's a
passionate
great
dude.
star.
Very passionate. You're gone, and you're gone, and you're gone. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
you
well,
kind
I
of got
mean,
to be
look,
that way sometimes, though. Like,
yeah,
because that rant, when I did hear it, I was like, "Oh no, that's crazy." But when I thought about it, it's I kind of understand where he's coming from. I wouldn't have
Look,
handled
man,
it
like
the
I'm a
same way.
boss. I'm a supervisor in a
Exactly.
warehouse,
I'm
and
producing
people
this
don't
movie.
listen. They don't listen.
Exactly.
You can tell them something over and over again. Sometimes you gotta freaking set your foot down. Now,
Yep.
I'm not the type of person to really come at people that way, the way he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's needed though.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
it's
mean,
needed,
yeah.
especially
Sometimes it's
on a
needed.
set when you're dealing with like crew members and actors. You probably all think they're at like a certain level and they can get
Hmm.
away with stuff and all that. All that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
I understand it. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. And wasn't there a Stanley Kubrick film that he starred in that you enjoyed?
Yeah, same year. No,
Oh, you didn't
it's
like it.
okay. It's okay. Eyes Wide Shut is an okay movie, but it's
Okay.
not one of my favorite Kubrick films. I remember
Okay.
when I did my ranking, I was like 10 or something
Oh,
out of
okay.
11. Yeah, only
Gotcha.
Lolita was worse than that.
Yeah,
Um,
that was probably your
I
least
didn't think it
favorite.
was. Yeah, it was a really well-made movie, but he wasn't. I just didn't think he was that good in it. And that came out the same year he did Magnolia, so I think all of
Hmm.
his acting talent went into Magnolia, not into
Mm,
Eyes Wide Shut.
I see. He
But
kind of had to spread it out, and the Eyes Wide Shut got the bitter
yep,
end of the stick there. But yeah, so Tom Cruise for me, I'm not huge into Tom Cruise films. Like the Mission Impossible films, I love. I absolutely love. Probably one of my
yeah,
favorite
yeah, I
franchises.
get that.
But other than that, I mean, I've seen him here and there in some films, but I really haven't seen a lot of his films.
Have you seen Edge of Tomorrow?
I haven't. That's on my list to watch
You
later.
will love Edge of Tomorrow. It's a really good sci-fi film.
I'm gonna
Really
I'm
good
gonna
sci-fi
definitely
film.
check it out. It's on my list, my 2021
And
list.
he
So
plays a character in that movie that's like completely against anything he's ever done before.
really,
It's like the anti-Tom performance in that
I'm
movie. It's
I'm
really
even
good.
more intrigued than I
Yeah,
was now.
really good.
I hear that it's a really good sci-fi film, and I heard Emily Blunt is great in it as well.
Oh yeah, she's yeah, great as well.
So I'm excited for that one. But recently, the last Tom Cruise film that I watched that wasn't part of the Mission Impossible franchise was what was it? Interview with a Vampire.
It's been a long time since I've seen that. I remember liking it. I read the Anne Rice novels back when I was younger.
Oh, really?
Back when I
Yeah,
was into like reading, I used to read a lot of horror books like Stephen King and everything. And I
yeah.
read like that one and like I think Queen of the Damned also, which that movie's not as good.
Mm,
But I
okay.
remember Interview with the Vampire being good. Does it not hold up? I haven't seen it in
It's
forever.
it's not horrible. It's just
It's
I
long,
don't know.
isn't it?
It was long and it was just like kind of slow moving at parts. But Brad Pitt was decent, and seeing Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt work together and their
And
chemistry was
Antonio
really,
Banderas.
yeah. Okay, the thing about Antonio Banderas in that film is I feel like he wasn't really needed. He was introduced
Yeah,
like maybe
he's not in it very much, is he?
or no, he wasn't. He was like maybe introduced like half an hour to 40 minutes and like to the end. And
Yeah.
his character wasn't like as prominent as I wanted him to be. I feel like either have him have a larger role in the film or take him out completely. I do enjoy Antonio Banderas. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like an
Christian.
Antonio Banderas hater. It's just
Yeah.
like I feel like that role was kind of lackluster.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember. I mean, it's been forever, if I'm being honest. But
Yeah,
I can't even remember who directed that movie.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, that's a case where I think I enjoyed the novel more than I did the actual movie. But I have it. I have the Blu-ray. I'll get to it and rewatch it at some point and see how
I
my
could see that. I could
thoughts
see
hold up.
liking the novel better.
The novel's
It
great.
feels like it feels. I don't know how to say this, but it feels like it would be a better novel than it was a movie. Just kind of like how
Yeah, I mean, the
everything was
novel
described.
is conducted like an interview, like an actual interview.
Yeah.
I've read the novel more recently than I've seen the movie, so
Okay.
I read it probably like 15 years ago or something. But I probably haven't seen the movie since I was a kid, so probably like mid '90s or something. I think it came
Gotcha.
out in '94.
Mid 90s is a good
Um,
movie too.
yeah, yeah, that's a good movie. Jonah
A
Hill.
good movie. Yeah, Jonah Hill's
Jonah Hill.
debut. But
Did you know that Jonah Hill has dropped more f bombs in film than any other actor or actress? Did you know that?
really,
You
I
know
did
where I
not
learned that
know
at?
that. That's a fun fact right there.
On the History of Swear Words on Netflix, the
Oh,
Nicolas
okay.
Cage thing. Yeah.
Netflix. There you go. Netflix original right there.
Yep.
Just dropped maybe a month. No, a couple weeks ago actually.
It was right at the beginning of January. I think
January.
it
Yeah.
was the very first thing.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Wanted to talk about Cardi B. And she
Cardi
has
B.
Cardi B. She lands her first leading role in the film Assisted Living. Do you listen to Cardi B at all? I don't know if I take you as
I feel like
the
you're
person.
trolling me right now. If I didn't like work with a bunch of kids that know this stuff and they'd be like, "Hey, can you play that Cardi B song?" I would not know who Cardi B was.
I was just
But
I was wondering.
to be
if
honest
you
with
knew.
you, I don't listen to a lot of like music past 2000.
Yeah,
I just don't
yeah.
like a
I
lot of
remember you
music
saying that.
nowadays.
I remember you saying
Um,
that,
but
and
yeah,
that's
it's
understandable. That's understandable.
yeah.
Did you see Hustler? She was in
I
Hustlers. A
did,
very,
and she
minor
showed
part.
me nothing in Hustlers that would make
Very,
me think she was
very
capable of
minor.
carrying a movie. But that's
Yeah,
not to say that she can't.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, she could.
Yeah,
I
she
don't know.
could for sure. And I don't know much about her acting, past. I haven't watched the show that she was in. I'm not sure exactly what it was called, but it was a reality show that she kind of started in. And
She
kind of got
obviously
her
knows how to market herself
for
and
sure.
turn herself into a star. So she's got something somewhere. She's got some level of charisma to be where
Yeah,
she's at. So,
I
and I
think
mean,
she has a ton of.
Lady Gaga,
I
nobody
feel like she
thought
has
Lady
a ton of.
Gaga would have been Oscar nominated like
Hmm.
5 years ago, and she did it. So there's nothing to
Exactly.
say. I mean, the premise of this movie kind of seems a little silly. It's not going to be like an
It
Oscar movie,
seems
but
very silly, and I'm gonna read it
yeah.
off for the people. I'm gonna read off the description. So according to Variety, Cardi has been cast in a comedy from Paramount called Assistant Living, where she'll play a small time crook named Amber who has to hide from the police and her ex partners at her grandma's nursing home while disguised as an older woman. Now, the end part is what gets me. Like the first part is decent. I'm like, okay, I can see
Yeah.
that, but where she's disguised as an older woman, that's like where it like throws it out the window for me. Like I
So
am
she's
not
not even going to
interested.
be able to be herself in the
Yeah,
movie.
like well,
So
I feel like
where's
she'll be herself still, but like disguised as an older woman. I would have rather seen her like disguised as a nurse there or something like that. I think that would have been that would have worked a lot better. I don't know. It just makes it seem a lot more silly.
But isn't
Than
your main selling point for having Cardi B in your movie is to actually show the face of Cardi B so
that's
they know that
probably
she's in the
yeah.
movie?
Yeah. I mean,
And
I
then
don't
she's going to
know.
be done up in prosthetics the
I
whole
do
time?
want to see a trailer for this because if the trailer sells me, I don't know. I know it's a comedy. I know it
I
has to be.
forget
It
the video.
has
The
to be a
video I was
comedy.
watching about this story, they were talking about how Cardi B's like always late for everything.
Mm.
And they said that she's not going to be able to be late and she's got to do like 4 or 5 hours of prosthetics. She's going to like push the movie behind.
So it's like,
Um,
so it is like prosthetics being used in the film. I didn't
yeah, I
know
mean,
if
I
she was gonna have,
imagine.
yeah,
Um,
I didn't know if she was gonna have like a wig
Unless they're
or
gonna do it like Mrs. Doubtfire style, just put a mask on her
right.
and be
I don't
done
know,
with it.
man. I don't know about this one,
She's gonna
but
look like the old man from
hopefully,
Six Flags
hopefully it's decent.
commercial.
Hopefully it drops on a streaming service, so we don't have to go out and go to the theaters to see it. But yeah, so it's just
Pay
like easy.
$20 to watch it in your living room.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, moving on. Liam Neeson is he said he's retiring from action films after 2021. How do you feel about Liam Neeson as an action star?
I've watched a few of his recent films, but I haven't watched every single one. He comes out with like two every single year.
He does. He comes
And
out
I
with a
don't
lot of
watch them all because they all feel very similar. I watched the
they are.
first Taken, I watched the second Taken. I didn't see the third one. I mean, he's great at doing this kind of older man, kind of grizzled action hero role. And
Yeah.
I saw The Commuter and I saw Cold Pursuit. And they were both okay movies. Nothing great though. But
I haven't seen
he's
Cold
always
Pursuit.
yeah, he's always good in these movies.
Yeah.
I mean, he used to be like one of the best actors working back in the '90s. Very
Yeah,
respectable
he
actor.
starred in
Now he's
Schindler's
kinda-
List, correct?
Yeah, Schindler's List.
He was in the Star
A
Wars
bunch of
films, the
movies.
prequels as well.
Yeah. I wish they would bring Qui-Gon back somehow.
That would be interesting
But,
to see
yeah,
Qui-Gon again.
I loved his character, and that was like one of the best parts of the Phantom Menace to me.
Not a lot of people talk about Qui-Gon.
No, it's like he's just been forgotten. I think they
Yeah.
said that his voice was like in Rise of Skywalker when Rey was looking up to the heavens and everybody was talking. They said that, well, Qui-Gon was right there. But I've only
Yeah,
seen the movie once because it sucks, and I can't. I'm not going to go back and see if I can hear it.
yeah. Let's get Qui-Gon in like maybe the Obi-Wan film or something like that. I don't know.
Prequel or
The prequel,
something.
yeah. Hmm.
If he's in the Obi-Wan
The
show
show,
and he
yeah,
like
the
comes
series.
back as like a Force ghost or something, I don't know.
That
You
would
could
be
figure out
interesting.
some way
That would
to.
be definitely
They
interesting
brought
to see.
Darth Maul back and he died in the same freaking scene. Why can't they bring back Qui-Gon? Makes no sense.
He did. But yeah, Liam Neeson, Taken was huge when I was a kid. Like I think I was in 8th grade when Taken came out,
Yeah,
and that was just like
I
this
was
was this
early
was
20s.
awesome. You were in your early 20s, yeah. We're not that much different in age, though. I feel like you're like
No, you're
7.
not. You're not on the extreme end. It's not like I'm
No,
dating a
I'm
16-year-old or
27.
something.
I'm
Yeah,
27. Yeah,
we're only
so
8 years apart.
yeah, not too big of a gap there, but
Yeah,
yeah, like Taken was awesome as a kid, and Taken 2 was decent. I feel like back when I watched
I don't
Taken
even
2,
remember Taken Two. I
yeah,
know I watched it. I
yeah,
saw it in theaters. I cannot remember anything about it.
it's kind
I
of
remember
hard
the
to.
first
It's not that memorable. Just that it was a thing, and Taken 3 was a thing too. But it wasn't as good as the first one. Neither one of them
one. Yeah.
were as good as the first one. But yeah, like then you have Commuter, and then you have Nonstop, and Nonstop was on a plane, I think, and then the
Now
Commuter
one,
was on a
yeah,
train.
Nonstop is on a plane.
Yeah,
I didn't see
yeah.
that one. Now
Okay.
one that I do want to see that I don't think fits those action molds is the Gray. I never saw the Gray, and
That
I've
was
always wanted to see that one.
Bro, when I say that I was in the theater and I was so mad, I think this was the first bad
I've
theater
heard that a lot
experience.
of people say that about
I
it.
think this was the worst theater experience that I've had, like for the first time. Like that was the first theater experience that was negative for me. And I
Yeah.
went with some friends, watched it. I
Little
was
AJ, so excited
bored.
to see the
The
Gray.
little AJ, I didn't really know anything about film either. Like I wasn't, into film that much, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed watching movies and stuff like that. But it wasn't like I never would, talk about it like this.
Yeah.
But like when I say it was really, really, really boring, it was very, very slow moving.
It's like the whole build up. He's supposed to fight this wolf, and then he never actually does, or something.
I don't want to give away the movie for you because you
I
might
think
watch
I have it. I'm pretty sure I own it on Blu-ray.
you
I look
might
behind me.
watch
It's
it
back
one
there
day.
somewhere.
But
Yeah,
I
I'll watch
will
it.
say, it is a slower paced film, and I like to know when my films are slower paced before I go into it, so I kind of just can get that mindset. But yeah, like the Gray, it wasn't for me, man. And if you
Because
like,
this is right in the middle of his hot streak with like
yeah,
action movies. And
yeah,
then he
if
comes
you
out with
guys
a slow one.
enjoy the Gray, more power to you. It just wasn't for me, for
Yeah.
sure. And then last thing I wanted to talk about, Killmonger coming back for Black Panther 2.
I heard that. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting, given the way that we left off with his character in the first
Yeah.
one. So that's
Yeah.
going to be an interesting.
I mean, that kind of upset me anyway, the fact that they killed him off in the movie. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're figuring out how to bring him back somehow.
I wonder if they're going to I wonder what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to resurrect him or somehow, or.
Yeah.
But
I
that
mean, it makes
think,
sense, I mean, Michael B. Jordan, he's Ryan Coogler's ride or die, man. That's
exactly.
he's in every
Him and
single one
Ryan
of his
Coogler
movies.
are like besties. They're besties.
Yeah.
So, and then what just got announced? He was in Creed, so Creed 3 has been announced, and
Dude,
I think
man, I love Creed so much.
Isn't
you have no idea
Michael B?
how much I
Isn't
love
Mike
those movies.
really?
I love
You
them more
enjoy-
than Rocky.
Really?
I love Creed more than Rocky. Which
I haven't
they're
seen
Rocky
any of the
movies.
films.
They're
Mhm.
Rocky movies, no doubt. But
Yeah,
I know it's called Creed, but it's a Rocky movie. I've had this argument before about people that don't think that
Basically.
Creed is a part of the Rocky franchise. Like, no, it's absolutely the Rocky franchise. It's
yeah. I mean, it has. It's
a sequel.
part of that universe for sure. I haven't seen any of those films, honestly. So, I own them all. I own all the Rocky films. I own all the
That's
Creed
great.
films, and I haven't seen them.
As far as like franchises, it's like Star Wars will probably always be my favorite just because it's close to my heart. But Rocky's like right behind it. And I
Really?
started watching the Rocky movies when I think it was like 13 or 14.
So you
I
grew
love
up
all
with
those
them.
movies. Oh yeah, when I saw Creed, like I wasn't that excited going into it because I was like,
Mhm.
what are they gonna do? Bringing this franchise back? I just felt a little tired,
Yeah.
and it just like freaking blew me away. And yeah, it's like one of my favorite movies of the past 10 years.
Wow. Wow. Nice. So I'm getting amped for it for sure. Let me go to the comments. It looks like some folks have been commenting.
And Creed 2, some people say Creed 2 isn't as good as Creed, which I'd say Creed's is slightly better for me, slightly better. But I like them both like almost equal.
Hmm. I feel that. It said, "Hey, you guys, I'm curious to see what is Tom Cruise doing on that thumbnail." Tom Cruise. We had a whole discussion about Tom Cruise and
Yes,
you're gone and you're gone. So yeah, like there's
you're
a lot of
fucking
heat.
gone.
There's there's a lot of heat surrounding Tom Cruise right now with on the set of Mission Impossible 7, which I am amped for. I love the Mission Impossible franchise, and I
I do
think
too.
yeah, I think
I
this
have
is
an
going to be
unpopular opinion with Mission Impossible
okay.
franchise, though.
Okay, let's hear it.
The unpopular opinion is, well, I don't think it's the best, not by a long shot. I think Mission Impossible 2 is not the worst. I don't think Mission Impossible 2 is the worst Mission Impossible movie.
What would you say is the worst?
Number 3.
Wait,
And I
what?
don't even think number
Wait,
3
wait. What
for
number did you just say?
the one where J.J. Abrams directed. That's the worst.
Is
And I
that
don't think it's
3? Is that with Philip Seymour Hoffman?
yes, yes, that's the
What?
worst.
You think
Yes.
that's the worst one? That's
And
my
it's
favorite one.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's a bad
Right.
movie. I'm just saying I have more nostalgia for Mission Impossible 2 because I think that was the first DVD I ever owned.
Oh,
I
really?
used to watch it
Wow,
all the
that's
time,
interesting.
and I love the first one too. I
And you
love the
the
first
first
one. I
one
used
is
to watch
great.
that on VHS. I still have it on VHS. Watched it all the time. Played the video game on N64. Like
I
that
didn't
was one
even
of
know
my
they
favorite
had a
video.
video game.
Oh yeah, the video game was great.
Really?
And yeah, you can't beat like 4, 5, and 6. Like all those are just great action movies.
Those are amazing. But
So Mission Impossible 3, by taking all that out, it has to be the worst of the
bro,
franchise. I don't think it's bad. I just
okay.
think it's my least favorite.
I can accept that. I
That's
mean,
your favorite?
I don't agree, but that's my
My
favorite one.
favorite's is Ghost Protocol. That's
That's
my favorite.
interesting too. That's an interesting take you got there too,
Yeah,
because
and number 2
I don't
is
think
the
really
first
many
one.
people have Ghost Protocol as their number one, but it's a solid film. It's good.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But three like Mission Impossible 3 and Fallout, like they fight for my number one spot. But right now it's 3. I just rewatched
Fallout's
it.
fantastic. Rogue Nation's fantastic. I would probably go Mission or Ghost Protocol, the first Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, Fallout, Mission Impossible 2, Mission Impossible 3. That's my ranking.
That Mission Impossible 3 at the end, man.
Again,
But yeah,
I think they're all good. And look, I need to watch Mission Impossible 3 again because I haven't seen it honestly since the theater. I watched it in theaters in 2006. That's the last time I've seen it.
yeah.
But that
You're
just goes to show I've seen all the other ones more than 2 or 3 times. I've seen them all like 2 or 3 times. I've only seen the third one once, so that
mm.
should tell you something.
You only seen the third one once?
I wasn't that interested to go back to it. So why wasn't I
Okay,
that
maybe
interested to go
if you
back to it?
watch it
'Cause
again. Okay, did you
it was
watch it like
forgettable.
did you watch it as soon as it came out?
As soon as it
Like
came out,
theater?
opening weekend.
And
Yeah,
that was the
theaters.
only time you ever saw
It's
it.
the last time I saw it. So that was 2006. I think
Bro,
summer of
you got
2006.
to check it out again. I know you're
So I
not
got to
like
go back and
running
watch
to
it.
see it. I know you're not
Yeah.
running back to watch it, but if you get a chance to see it, watch it again
But
and then
it's
come back to me and I want to hear what your thoughts are on the second time you've seen it.
yeah, I'll get
Um,
there. I'll try to rewatch them all before the part 7 comes out. 7.
because I feel like Philip Seymour Hoffman is like one of my favorite villains of any franchise in that movie. But also of that series, he's my favorite villain.
I think I didn't love the fact that they gave Ethan Hunt a wife. I just didn't feel like that fit. I didn't think he had very good chemistry with Michelle Moynihan, is what her name is.
Yeah,
Monica.
that's her name. Monahan.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's great. I mean, he was in that Magnolia movie I just watched too. He's always done. Have you ever seen The Master?
I haven't.
That's it's a slow burn of a movie, but it's one of Joaquin Phoenix's best performances, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's great in it as well.
Okay. Certain Vids, what's up, man? Thank you for joining the
What's
chat.
up?
You can ask some questions. We have made it to the end of our topics, and we're just gonna kind of talk about like the films that we've been, watching lately, and kind of give some recommendations, kind of fill each other out with those. So, what you been watching lately, Ken?
I've been watching a lot. Like I said, I've been in a mad dash. I got my 1999 series going on my Instagram right now.
Yeah.
So I've been watching a lot of films from 1999. I try to pick movies that I haven't watched in a while, but I have watched a couple, or not watched in a while, but first time watches.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
watched The Matrix because I hadn't seen that in like 15 years, and I watched Fight Club because I hadn't seen that since it came out like 20 years
Oh,
ago.
really?
And both
Wow.
of those
Yeah.
movies held up extremely well for me. Fight Club is amazing, and The
Fight Club
Matrix
is really good.
But
I've only seen it once.
one I wanted to talk to you about was
Mhm.
Being John Malkovich,
Okay.
which is directed by Spike Jonze, who did Her. Did you ever see Her
I did
with
see her.
Joaquin Phoenix?
I
Did you
did
like
see
that
her.
movie?
I really liked that movie.
The
I did
movie
a
Being
lot.
John Malkovich is written by Charlie Kaufman, who wrote
Oh, okay.
and directed I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Yeah,
So
I love the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I love
yeah,
that
he
movie.
directed
I
that one
really
too,
enjoy
right?
that movie. I don't know if I'd say I love it, but I do really enjoy that movie, and that's a Charlie Kaufman movie as well.
Yeah, Being John Malkovich is like as close to a masterpiece as it gets for
Really?
me. Like I love the movie so
Okay.
much. It's such a weird out there premise and idea, but it's just one that just like I was
I'm gonna
locked
write
in
that
the whole
down.
time.
I'm gonna write down
I
these
don't know if it's
recommendations.
on. It's not on any streaming service because I got to watch it because I own the DVD because I found it at like a thrifting place a few weeks ago.
Okay.
But yeah, it's such a good movie. Such a good.
Okay.
Everybody
Cool.
in it is fantastic. Got Catherine Kinnear in it. You know who that is? She was in Get Out. She's the mom in Get Out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do know
She's
who that
also in
who that
40
is.
Year Old Virgin. She
Mm-hmm.
was Steve Carell's love
Jesus.
interest. She's in the movie. She's very young in the movie. Cameron Diaz is in the movie.
Cameron
And
Diaz. Okay. She has
Cameron
to be
Diaz.
really young. She has to be like a little kid, right?
Yeah, but the way
Kid?
that they do her up, like she's all homely and stuff like that, so she does not look like the Cameron Diaz like you
Okay.
remember. And John Cusack. John Cusack's in it, and of course John Malkovich also in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's just such an interesting movie.
I like John
It's
Malkovich.
so different than anything I've ever seen before in my life. It's such an interesting idea.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I
love
think
that
the
movie.
only John Malkovich film that I've ever seen was Red.
Oh, okay. Have you not seen Con Air? He's a great
I have
villain
not
in
seen
Con Air.
Con Air, and
Yeah,
that's
go
Tom
watch
Cruise
Con Air.
too, isn't it? Is that Tom Cruise?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. My bad. No, I haven't seen Con Air. Is that a recommendation you got?
Oh yeah,
Or is that
yeah. You gotta
okay?
watch Con Air. That's a
Okay,
classic
I'm
action
gonna
movie.
put it.
It's not like
I'm
the
gonna
best. It's the type of movie that it could go either way as far as like
Mhm.
you liking it or not, because it's kind of like I got a certain level of nostalgia for it. It's a goofy action film from the '90s, but that movie is a great cast too. It's got Dave Chappelle's in that movie. It's got
Oh, really?
Danny
Okay.
Trejo's in the movie. John
Okay.
Malkovich, John Cusack's also in that movie. Yeah, terrific cast in that movie.
Tony had a question. Do you guys think that it is possible that Ultron may return in WandaVision? I don't think that Ultron is going to return personally, but I do think that maybe Wanda's brother, the Quicksilver, returns. I think his name. What is his name? Alexi something. Alexis.
The actor?
No, not the actor. The character.
Oh, I
Wanda's
can't
brother.
remember his name. But aren't they
Quicksilver. I know
talking
that
about bringing back the Quicksilver from the
X-Men.
X-Men
Yeah,
universe?
Evan Peters. Yeah.
Instead of Aaron Taylor Johnson, they're bringing back what's that kid actor's name? I know he's not a kid
Evan
actor,
Peters.
but Evan Peters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watch a lot of American Horror Story, so I know a lot about Evan
I've seen
Peters.
every season of American Horror Story, and I haven't finished any of them.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
I can't ever except
always
for the Lady Gaga one. That's the only
the
one
hotel.
I finished.
That's the
The
only
Hotel.
season
I
I
actually
didn't
like
watch.
that one.
That's the only season I didn't watch.
She was really good in that.
I
She
have
was
to
really
go
good in
back
that.
and watch it. But yeah, I've seen every season of American Horror Story except Hotel with Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga was in Roanoke as well, but she wasn't like a big character that she was
No,
in
I saw the
Hotel.
first couple of Roanoke, and I saw
Did
I
you
saw
get
the
to the
cult one.
Did you get to the
Um,
part in
Apocalypse
Roanoke?
we started.
Did you get to the part in Roanoke where it kind of like turns on its head, where the actors and the real people live in the house together?
No, I didn't get that.
That
I
was
only got
that.
to like episode one. I'm like, what is this? This is just very different than
Yes,
what I'm
that's
used to.
hilarious that you always start it, but you never really finish
I
it.
can't
It
ever follow through. My wife always makes me start every season too. She's like, "Oh, this one looks really interesting," and then she'll get bored of it. I'll be like,
that's
"I'm not into it. I wasn't into it from the beginning, so I don't no
that's
need
how
to
it is
finish it."
with American Horror Story. It like always starts off pretty strong, and then it just kind of goes downhill every season. Um,
Yeah,
1984, I think that's what it was called. 1984, the last
I
one.
wanted to watch that one because it was a slasher homage, but
Yeah, it wasn't great. Like I feel like
yeah,
the whole season was just kind of like it
Ryan
feels like
Murphy is very hit or miss.
yeah.
Did you ever watch Nip Tuck? Probably not. It probably came out
I
when
saw
you were
I saw
younger.
an episode of Nip Tuck a
I
long
watched
time
the
ago when I was
whole series of Nip
here.
Tuck. I love Nip
Really?
Tuck. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
one of my favorite. It probably didn't hold up too great now, but I love that show back in the day.
Um,
I
I
loved
did watch wait,
the one with OJ,
uh-huh.
with Cuba Gooding Jr. as
It's like
OJ. He did
American
that one
Crime
too, I think.
Story, I
American
think.
Crime. That was a great show.
Wasn't there a second season with Versace or something like that?
Yeah, I think there was. I think
Hmm.
there was with the one with Ricky Martin played him. Is
Hmm.
that who played Versace?
Gotcha.
Living La Vida Loca. So
Uh,
what'd you think of Swiss Army Man?
Swiss
By
Army
the
Man.
way,
Yeah. Real quick, let me read this off. AJ's thoughts on Neil Blomkamp. Three films: District 9, Elysium, and Chappie. I haven't seen any of those, so I don't even know if I've seen any Neil
I've only
Blomkamp.
seen District 9, so I'll disappoint you there, Chappie man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I
No,
don't remember loving District 9 that much, but I do need to go back and rewatch it.
I think I started District 9, but just yeah, it wasn't for
Yeah,
me. It
yeah, I
it, it
watched it
wasn't
back
for
in
me.
2009. I think.
Yeah. So yeah, you were gonna ask me about Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, what'd you think about Swiss Army
I
Man?
did. I did a
I'm
little
interested.
review. I did a little review on my Instagram. It was. I wasn't expecting what was what happened. What the movie entailed, but I also kind of like tried to like be devil's advocate a little bit, like not think that this movie is horrible, it's silly, it's goofy, but I also wanted to be like, you know, see the depth in it. I feel like it has layers,
Yeah.
and it was executed in a very very silly way. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I saw that
yeah,
a while ago, like when I was first getting into before I reviewed movies on Instagram. I used to
right,
write down my thoughts in a notebook.
yeah.
Um, like I used to do like reviews in a notebook, and I remember reviewing that one
Do you still have
in
that
the
notebook?
notebook. I might have it somewhere. It's where I reviewed a lot of like 2015, 2016 films back when I was trying to figure out like how to legitimately get my thoughts out there. And then I was like, oh, I'll just post it on Instagram. That's how the whole thing, my whole
Yeah,
name and stuff got started. But yeah, I probably still got it around here somewhere. But I forget. I think I gave it like a 6 or 7 or something.
that sounds about
It
right.
was a
That's not.
confusing movie to me.
It was a bit out
It was
there.
funny.
I don't
I
understand how
laughed.
you enjoyed. I'm thinking of ending things, but not this, because this was it had like kind of cohesion to it. It had more of a cohesion to it than I'm thinking of
Yeah.
anything. I feel like that movie was just like out there and like all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, retrospectively, I probably would like them pretty even. I think
Mhm.
I gave I Think in Anything's an 8, if I
Mm,
remember correctly. I don't remember what it gave. I like the performances a lot in that movie, and I loved the scene that you hated. I loved that car ride. That was like a half hour and just all the dialogue. I was just locked into that. I
half
don't know
hour of
why. I loved
solid,
it.
like
I
solid
love Jesse
dialogue.
Plemons though, and I thought the girl was really good too.
Jesse
That
Clemens is
the
the
Breaking
guy.
Bad. He's from Breaking Bad. That's
Yeah,
what I know him
Todd
from.
from Breaking Bad.
But
I
he was
do
also
enjoy.
really hilarious in that Game Night movie
Yeah, he
that
was.
came out.
He was the
Um,
cop in Game Night.
yeah, I like him. I like I don't know if he's like trying to act that way or what, but I just like his like whole demeanor and just the way he like
He carries
carries
himself.
the
Yeah,
conversation. I don't know.
yeah, for
I just
sure.
find it interesting. He's like he looks like Matt Damon, but he's just to me he's like more. I don't know. He just has a lot of layers. And,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know.
A little bit, a little
I
bit
like him.
more grounded than Matt Damon is. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking Ending Things was just, it was not great to me. It was just
that's not a
like,
movie that I'm like I'll die defending it or anything. If you want to
yeah,
call it a piece of shit, yeah, it's fine.
yeah. But a lot
That's
of
not going
people
to end up
liked
on
it.
my top 10 of the year.
A lot of people enjoyed the film though, so
Yeah,
it must have had something going for it, for sure.
yeah,
I didn't see it personally,
it
but
went too out there for me towards
mhm,
the end. But another movie that I just watched, I was talking to you about right before we
mhm.
came on here, was Promising Young Woman, and that's a movie
Yo,
that everybody loves. That to the point that I would even call that this year's Parasite. The way that everybody is
mm,
talking about and hyping up that movie.
I
Um,
loved it.
yeah, to me, I think I was a victim of just a little bit too much hype, and I
Hmm.
wasn't. I don't. I understand what it was trying to say, and it felt like it was kind of beating me over the head with it to the point where it's like I get it. Like normal, decent people know that date raping a girl that's drunk is not good.
Yeah,
Like I understand that.
yeah.
Maybe somebody doesn't understand that, but
I
I get that.
I kind of
Like
had
in
to
it,
take it for like kind of what it was. I didn't feel like it was beating us over the head. I feel like we did know this, and
yeah,
like it wasn't telling us that. It was just kind of showing her journey. That's how I took it.
yeah,
It wasn't really like the way it was written. Didn't seem like they were trying to convey a message. It like I think that's what the problem that you feel like you had with it.
yeah,
And I'm not gonna sit here and defend it because you feel your way about it, but I
yeah.
kind of like I have to kind of break it down and like figure out how the story was told.
I just didn't feel like there was
And
anything there beyond the surface of what it was telling me, and that was it. And I got it. And I almost thought that it was going to go the route at the end where it was just going to be like the message was they get away with it, and that's the
mm,
message. Not trying
mm,
to spoil anything, but oh, they get away with it. But then the ending happens, and it
yeah,
made me a little happier. I like the ending to it. I think
and
it fixed some of the big problems I had. It kept me from hating the movie.
okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like
really?
I
Really?
like it now.
You were
I
not
was
on
so
board at
upset
all.
when what happened in that cabin, um, up
Mm,
in the room with the guy. I was like, what the is this? I was like, this is so. I guess like I was expecting something like a real revenge story.
yeah,
That's
and
like
it wasn't,
that had
and
some teeth to it and some
that's kind
grit
yes, and that's
and
something that
some
kind of
yeah,
like
and
we
it's
talk
just
about.
not that. It's not that.
Yeah, they didn't
I was
really,
expecting her to
she
go
wasn't
Gone Girl
violent.
on them mother
Yeah, she wasn't
people.
violent,
Yeah, and it
and
didn't
that
get
was,
there.
I think that's what I was expecting too. And after walking away from the film, I was like, it felt like kind of lackluster. Like it kind of
Yeah,
felt a little lacking because I wanted to see these dudes, kind of like it sounds bad, but like get what they deserve. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. And it
but
was
like I
also
actually
extremely predictable. I
not
knew
the end though.
exactly
I didn't feel like the end was
it
predictable.
wasn't because I didn't think they were going to do it, but it's also an ending that I've seen in other movies before. I've seen similar things. And
Okay.
I mean, my wife usually is pretty good about like calling stuff out in movies. And she
I
called
try
out
not
like,
to do that.
yeah, the guy that she's with right now, he's going to be in the video. And she
Mm,
called that out like 20 minutes
that
before
part
they
was
actually
more
showed it.
that part was a little bit more predictable than what
Yeah.
happens at the end, but yeah, like I could see that being a little bit predictable there.
I guess it wasn't predictable in the sense that I actually thought something was going to happen and nothing ever
Hmm.
did. So I
Yeah,
guess
it
in
kind of
that way
didn't
it was
feel like
unpredictable.
throughout the film it kind of didn't feel like there were stakes to what she was doing, because the film is about her. It didn't really feel like anything was gonna
And
happen with her.
also, you never got any answers like what happened to her friend.
Yeah,
Like
I think that wasn't the point. That
you
wasn't the
never
point of
got
the
the
film.
but I felt like I needed to understand why she was so upset
Mhm.
because she was going to such extreme lengths to just try to ruin all of these men's lives
Yeah,
for what? I didn't understand why. And
I
I
think
felt
it
like I
was.
needed to understand why.
I think what they were trying to do, Emerald was trying to do was show that this is, you know, a woman that has lost part of herself because of, you know, something that happened. We don't necessarily need to see
Yeah.
that like, you know, what happened, but the fact is this is she's broken because of this. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, you know, see this type of thing, you know, this type of person that's hurt and that's hurting, and they want to, you know, dig into it and like, okay, well, why are you like this? Why are you, you know, feeling like this? Or, you know, but that's not really the point. So that's
Yeah.
kind of how I took it. I don't know,
Yeah.
like
I mean, whatever. I'm dumb. Everybody loves this movie,
no,
so
no,
apparently
no,
I'm
you're not
missing something.
dumb. You're not dumb. You're
Um,
not dumb. I
but
think
I thought
it's
like taking the story stuff out of it, like because
yeah.
that was really my only problem with it. I thought it had great style. I
Mhm.
thought the cinematography was excellent, the direction was excellent, the performances were all great.
Yeah.
I love the cast in it. You had Alison Brie. There was a bunch of people I wasn't even expecting to be in it. Like
True.
McLovin was in the movie.
Yeah,
Molly
that was so
Shannon was in the
weird.
movie. Yeah, there's
True,
all kinds of people in this movie. So
true.
I didn't hate the movie except for that one part that happened. But
Mhm.
um,
Did you
yeah,
feel
it
like
didn't live up to my expectations.
the tonal shifts were kind of weird? Did you feel weird about the tonal shifts?
To be honest with you, I didn't even feel that many tonal shifts. I
Okay.
felt it stayed at least like the only tonal shift I really, I don't know. It felt kind of similar to me throughout. It
Okay.
got a little bit different when she was like, and that was the one thing I thought it was the direction I thought it was going to go in when she met the guy and they were going on dates and there was like a montage and everything. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
the twist is
like
they're just going
that.
to get together and be happy and it's going to be like a
That's
romantic comedy or something.
that's what I meant with the tonal shifts. Like it was kind of a dark film. Like it,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
her, you know, doing that, and then like it, you see Bo
Well, you
Burnham
thought it
over
could have
here.
been darker, but then you
Mm-hmm.
see that she didn't really do anything to anybody. So it wasn't
Mm.
really like that dark. But I mean, I guess it's
Well,
dark in
she
the sense that she was showing the creepy side of all of these dudes and stuff. So I guess you could
and
consider it dark in
her
that sense.
friend, you know, went through this, you know, traumatic thing,
Yeah.
and you know, her death, she's dealing with her death and didn't grieve properly
Yeah.
and things like that. So it does have like a dark side to it. And then, you know, you
Yeah.
see her in this relationship, her and Bo Burnham singing in the grocery store or whatever, the convenience store they were in, and things like that. There's a montage, and you know, Laverne
Well, I mean,
Cox
she
is
got the signs that he was a dirtbag anyway because he was trying to invite her up the first freaking date. So I mean,
I was
those
thinking that
signs were there too.
there were some a little bit of signs here and there. The fact that he was friends with, you know, those people
Yeah, yeah.
back in the day, that was a little bit that made that a little bit predictable, but
But then
I
I
don't know.
thought they were saying something interesting just about like, well, what's is there a difference between like maybe he just actually liked her and just wanted to talk to her for the rest of the night or something.
Hmm.
And then is there a difference between that, like taking a girl out on a date and doing all that stuff, and then going back and asking her to come up, between just picking her up, falling over at a bar, and taking her back to your place? And like,
Yeah, like
when is it okay to ask a girl to go up to your place? You know what I mean?
yeah, and not take advantage.
And not feel like a creep.
I think that's just the whole premise. Um, just don't take advantage, really. You
Yeah.
know, make sure that everything is consensual. You know what I'm saying? So it's a really deep film to, you know, and it sparks conversation for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Definitely.
but yeah, we've gone about an hour, so I think we're gonna wrap things up here. I really
Yep.
appreciate you coming by, Ken, to discuss film and, you know, just this movie news, man. And yeah, tell the people where they can find you, bro.
You can find me on Instagram at mid-level movie reviews, where I review movies and show like my collection off and stuff like that. And then over at mid-level media, where I kind of do like go over like the current like Blu-ray releases and 4K releases, the announcements, all the stuff coming out. And then on my YouTube channel, mid-level media, where I do a lot of physical media based content, Blu-ray hunts in store. I do physical media reviews. I just dropped a review of Trading Places today, the new Blu-ray release for that, so you guys can check that out. And I'm also on Letterbox. I'm trying to keep up with Letterbox right now. I've been trying to keep up with all the movies I've been watching in 2021 on there, so you can follow me over there. And I think that's about it. I'm on Twitter too, but I'm not very active on there.
Awesome, man. Once again, thank you for hopping on and just discussing this with me.
Yep. Thank you for
Yep,
having me.
yeah, for sure. As for me, AJ Reacts too. And you're on my YouTube channel. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Twitch. I react to all kinds of things like movie trailers and music and things like that. So yeah, if you're interested in that type of content, definitely check me out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys later.
See you guys.